All right, what is your name and where are you from?
My name is Avery and I'm from Connecticut.
All right, Connecticut. That's a very nice place. I was up in Farmington the other day.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. Quiet. I like it.
Yeah, I go to school in Florida in Miami
Oh,
and
really? Oh, she
yeah.
was from Miami.
Yeah, I know. We go to U Miami and
Uh-huh.
I was like, okay, Florida's so nice, but I miss like legit nature.
Uh-huh.
Like being able to go for a walk and see like trees and animals and not
Yeah.
trash.
Trails and all that.
Yeah, it's nice.
I like that too.
Yeah.
So your team is the Hurricanes, right? Is
Yeah,
that
we're
it?
the Hurricanes, but I literally am the worst person. I have like no school spirit. I know nothing about our sports teams.
Yeah.
I literally like it's so bad. I don't think I maybe have gone to 2 football games. I'm a senior and yeah, it's pretty embarrassing. We're the Hurricanes though. All about that you.
So you don't like sports. What are some things that you do like?
Music, film, art, anything creative. The sports are not my thing. I never got into it.
Yeah.
Anything creative, really. Anything that you can express yourself or like do anything.
So I like asking people who take the initiative.
Okay.
Because
yeah.
you were the one who stepped up.
Yes.
Your friend decided not to do this.
My roommate.
Yes, your roommate. Do you consider yourself a leader?
Honestly, not really. I think like I hate to say it, but I always say I'm like the epitome of that person that's like, your friend jumped off a bridge, would you? Like, yeah, I would. Like, I'm not bold enough. Like, in my head, I want to be a leader, but when it comes time to like actually talk to people and like express myself, I like shrivel up and I get really bad social anxiety.
Really? I wouldn't have known that.
Oh yeah, I'm like trying to like get myself out there. That was my New Year's resolution, so I'm like, okay, this is the perfect opportunity for me.
So you are from Connecticut. What are some things you can tell us about Connecticut? Any places worth visiting?
Honestly,
Or no?
I think Connecticut's really great, like in terms of what I was talking about, like nature, like hiking in mountains, but like that's really about it. I don't love the town I grew up in. I grew up in kind of like a posh, like shishi kind of thing, and like
Oh,
the
yeah,
people were
yeah.
really fake, and like
Uh-huh.
it was just so toxic where I grew up that I was like, I kind of have this like disdain towards Connecticut, but I also hadn't left the bubble of like, I live in Fairfield County. I like never left that bubble. So I think like Connecticut's really cool. Actually, the one thing that's totally random is we do have better pizza than New York.
Really?
Frank Pepe's in New Haven and Fairfield is literally the best pizza I've ever had in my life. Like, I will firmly die on that ground.
Okay. So now, you are a student at University of Miami.
Yes.
What can you tell me about Miami? What were your first impressions when you got there?
My first impression was overwhelming amount of like everything. Like everything comes at you full speed. I literally just remember the first like day I got there. I like went to like a frat party, which was not my scene because that's like kind of the thing there. And I turned around and everyone's like literally just like going crazy, and I was like, what the hell? Like I came from such a small environment where like none of this was happening. And honestly, I like Miami, but it's not somewhere I could like see myself at all after these 4 years. Like it was great for college and the friends I made were fantastic, but it's like I said, it's just so fake. Like it's such a like appearance city. Like what are you wearing? Like what brand are you wearing? And like as you can tell, that's not
Superficial.
me. It's too much for me.
So what are you going to do once you leave University of
So
Miami?
I have a semester left. So my like ideal dream, if COVID wasn't a thing, would to be just like to get like a van and like follow an artist or a musician all across the country, like be a groupie.
Really?
That sounds so stupid, I know. But that's like my goal is to like just do what I want, like live in a nice van and like just be free, like no constraint, like no chokeholds, like just be independent and like follow, like if someone I loved was like going on tour, follow them to all their stops and stuff and just like meet people and just like just let loose, you know. But I think realistically I'm gonna have to get a job.
Who are some of the artists that you would want to follow?
Okay, so like shamelessly, like this is probably the most embarrassing thing I'm gonna say. I'm like oh my god, this is mortifying. I'm like obsessed with Lana Del Rey. So like she did a tour along the East Coast and that's when I got the idea. I was like, shit, like what I would give to just like travel and like see her everywhere. But I mean literally anyone that's touring that I like I'm literally can listen to any kind of music. And my weird thing is I like being alone more than I like being with people. So like I think it would just be really cool to just like be alone and just like travel and like see the world, you know, like see, or not even the world, just like the country and just like see it.
Yeah, there's so much to see. Now, did you want to do any dating questions?
Sure, if you want.
First impressions, how important are they?
What is it? Sorry.
First impressions.
Of what?
Of a guy or a girl if you're a lesbian.
I'm pan, which is, I don't like labels, but I'm definitely not straight.
Okay.
My first impression of people, I literally automatically look at like their smile, like if they have good teeth, which is really whatever. And I really just want someone to make like a good, like funny first impression, like spontaneous, like, I don't know. But yeah, like teeth is like my weird first impression. I'm like, do you have a good smile? Like that's big to me.
Do you consider yourself a top or a bottom?
Probably a bottom.
So you're the one being pursued then?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, so how important is it the way a person dresses when it comes to dating? Or not even dating, like let's say somebody likes you here, a man or a woman comes towards you and is dressed poorly. I mean, would that make a very big difference to you?
No, as long as someone's like confident in themselves and like who they are and like they have a good personality, like I do not give a shit how you dress. Like ideally, like I wouldn't want someone like crazy preppy or anything, 'cause, like obviously that's like not my kind of thing. But my thing is like as long as you're confident and like you like as long as you like know what you want and like not direct, but like as long as you're like a good person, like I don't give a shit how you dress or like what you look like, as long as you're gonna treat me right and be nice.
Very nice. Now, what are your thoughts on a person approaching you in public?
Oh,
Someone that likes you.
I love it. I think it's like the best. Like those little like stranger validation things make me feel so much better about myself than like when people I know tell me something, because it's like you just know like we have nothing to lose at this point. Like I honestly think it's awesome. Like I wish I had more balls, because like I always see people and I'm like, oh, I want to be like, you look so fucking good. But I love that when people do that. I think that's honestly awesome, and I think more people should do it. And like I would be so much more attracted to a person if they did that than if they like texted me. I don't know, honestly.
Now, skip any questions you want to skip. Name the last 3 people you liked and why you liked them.
Like people I personally know.
Yeah, like you don't have to have known them. Like let's say you went to class with somebody but you like someone but you never talked to them, but
Yeah, okay.
it doesn't really have to be like someone you
So,
actually know, but why you like them and who
there was this kid, there's only one person I can think of that comes to mind, because like I'm very weird about relationships. Like I'm in a place like mentally where I'm like I need to like figure myself out before I can like figure or like even care for another person. There's this kid in one of my classes named Nick. If you're watching this, whatever. He had a girlfriend.
Well, you got a mascot. He's not gonna.
No. And he was like the coolest person I'd ever met. Like in Miami, you don't meet many people that are like just like so shamelessly themselves and like not superficial. And he had like the best taste in music, which is like probably what I look for in someone too. Is like if we have the same taste in music and film. And like I like remember I was reading this article on my computer and he like turned around, he's like, oh my god, it's like so sweet. He's like, you listen to Earl Sweatshirt? I was like, yeah. And then like we just sat and like we had lunch every day together and like talked, and I was like, if you didn't have a girlfriend, I literally would have made my move. But
he's taken them.
Yeah, I'm respectful, but I really liked, they were like on and off again, because he would always be like, oh, I'm with my girlfriend, I'm not. And I know he had like a Sublime cover band, and I was like, this is the coolest kid I've ever met in Miami. And I was like literally obsessed with him.
What are some turnoffs for you?
Honestly, like shitty personality and like someone who's just like judgmental of other people, because I think like I have a lot of flaws and I think people do too, and like I've been with like a lot of assholes that have just been like, oh, like I don't know, I just think like if someone's like judgmental, it's not that it's a turn off, but I think like we need to have like common ground with like music and film, because that's like the most important thing in my life is like music and film. And like it's just hard for me to be compatible with someone who like doesn't have like any of the same interests that I do. But yeah, I think like just or someone who's like superficiality, like all that stuff, that's just such a big turn off to me. It's like not worth it.
Online dating, what are your thoughts?
I don't mind it. I don't think it's really okay, like not to be cynical, I don't think there's like an online dating. I think there's like online hooking up. Like I think it's really hard to like go on like Tinder or Hinge and like expect to come out with a relationship, because like you kind of know what you're getting on there for. And I feel like maybe like as an adult it's different, but like I'm almost 22, like no one this age that's going online for dating or for dating apps is looking to like a relationship. It's just like hit it and quit it. So I think like online dating isn't like, I don't think it's dating per se. I think it's just like casual hookups, which I'm all for. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Now, do you usually meet love interests through people you know or independently?
Usually independently. Like I said, like I don't know, usually independently. I guess like when I was younger more, like it was like in high school and stuff, or like even in the beginning of college, I kind of stuck to like my friends, my friends' friends. But now I'm like, there's so many cool people out there, especially in a city like New York or Miami, that I'm like trying to become more bold and like trying to go up to people, because like I want to meet someone on like my own accord who like I know I'm compatible with, and not like someone that like thinks we're compatible.
What are you looking for in a love interest?
I'm looking just honestly for someone who just honestly is like a little, I'm very introverted, so someone who's introverted, someone who likes music, who likes creativity, like, and who's confident in themselves, because I don't think I'm like that confident. So for me, it'd be really important to have someone who's like sure of themselves, so that like we can kind of like balance it out, because like I just like need someone to like kind of like make, not like make decisions, I can make my own decisions, but I need someone that's like gonna be bold and like assertive and just like knows what they want, because I'm not like that, and it's hard to get, I've been in relationships with people like that and it goes nowhere. Like it really doesn't. But yeah, creativity, compatibility, all that stuff. Like, oh, also my biggest thing is a sense of humor. Like if you, oh, and spontaneity. Spontaneity and sense of humor are like the two things I would drop like everything and run to someone for.
Say somebody meets you here in the park. How long should they wait before they call you once they get your number?
Honestly, I'm like not really hung up on the semantics of that stuff. Like if they texted me like 20 minutes later and I was doing nothing, like I wouldn't think anything of it. Like I think there's nothing worse than someone who like just text, like doesn't text you like for 3 days, or like waits like 4 hours. Like not like you need to be on call all the time, but like I think the semantics are kind of bullshit, because like what's the harm if like you're not doing anything and someone texts you like in 20 minutes? Like I don't care. Like I don't think anything different of that, and like I don't think it's like a thing of desperation. I just think it's like, okay, like whatever. I think maybe like an hour or like 30 minutes to an hour. I think also if you meet them in the park, like they're like, you need to keep them fresh in your mind, because like you're gonna leave the park in like an hour and like never remember, and then like, oh, 2 hours later this guy, you're like, oh, I'm over it. I don't know.
Now, let me ask you this. Let's say somebody sees you from across the park.
Okay.
He or she likes you. You know it. What are some signals that you put out to give him or her a green light? Would it be a smile, a wink?
Yeah, I guess I would probably like smile.
Eye contact?
Or like, yeah, most likely, like the thing is I'm so not assertive, and like I don't think I would ever even be confident that if someone was looking at me, like even if they were giving me like, I like you, like I don't think I would be confident enough to be like, oh, they like me, like they're looking at me, like that's just not me as a person. So honestly, like I guess like if I was feeling like it, I would, like if someone was really staring at me, like I would wave at them and be like, you wanna like come talk, like don't be a pussy, like come talk.
So he would know, or he or she would know.
If I really knew like that someone like really was looking at me and liked me, I'd be like, yeah, come over here, like what are we doing? Like we need to.
Yeah, don't waste any time.
Yeah, like it's like I'm at an age, like yeah, I'm like only 22, but I'm like I don't need kind of like the bullshit, like oh walk around like the questions and answers. I'm like I just need like direct, like I don't want like, I just want directness.
All right, now let's turn this around. Let's say you see somebody, you see a guy, he's checking you out, but you don't like him. What are some negative signals you put out? Do you look away?
I would just look away, or like be on my phone. Like I'd like go on like something, or like even like I always carry headphones with me. If it was like, so I would just put in headphones at that point, or like yeah, or like pretend, or like even like I call my friends all the time, like call my friend or like text a friend. Like I would just be like very, like I just wouldn't even maintain eye contact. Like that sounds like an asshole, but like I don't know, like I just wouldn't want to like do anything like that.
Have you had problems like that before, where people, or they like you and then they don't get the message?
Like yeah, because
They're just dumb, or
no, it's not that. I'm like not really direct, and like I said, like relationships are super weird for me. Like I just like I'm like really not a confident person, so like I don't like know how to like care for myself that well. So like I'm really in like a headspace that like it's hard for me to like fully care for other people. So like I think it's like I'm always the one who like I've like never been able to like maintain like a real, I always step back before anyone else could. So like I feel like even if someone made it apparent, like my instinct would be to like shut it down before like anything happened, because like that's just me, and like that's a really shitty way to go about life, but like I need like to like figure myself out before I could like get into like anything. So like I usually shut things down unless I'm like, okay, you're really hot, like let's just do like a one night stand, and then like that's it, which is not who I am, but sometimes people have biological needs, you know.
How long does it take for you to like someone? Because with me, a lot of women don't like me the first time they meet me. And sometimes it could take as long as half a year. I've had women who've known me for years and never liked me, and then like, you know, under the right circumstances or under the right conditions, they start to like me? How long does it take for you to like someone?
Honestly, it's pretty quick if I like someone. Like, I met someone this summer, and, like, it was pretty quick. Like, we spoke for, like, 20 minutes, and I was like, damn, I like this person. Like, they're funny, they're smart, and, like, they've got a good personality. Like, if I'm unsure of it, I usually just won't continue talking to them because, like I said, like, I don't really want a relationship at this point in my life. So I'm, like, I'm very content, like, where I am. So I'm not, like, oh, no, I have to, like, keep up talking to them. I'm just like, no, like, this is it. Like, I just will step back.
All right, now bad boys. Why is it that women are always attracted to guys who are jerks, guys who beat them, guys who mistreat them, guys who make them feel bad or?
I don't know. I mean, personally, like, none of my friends or I are like that. Like, my one friend dated this asshole guy, and, like, they got in one fight, and she's like, fuck you, like, get out. Like, I think we're also approaching a generation of women that are a lot, like, more secure in themselves, a lot stronger, a lot more, like, free-willed and, like, independent. And so, like, for me personally, like, if a guy's not gonna treat me or my friends right, or just, like, me, like, the fuck, like, I don't want to deal with that. Like, I think that's, like, a trope that's, like, used in, like, films, like, enemies to lovers thing. I think it's such an overused trope, but I feel like most women are not really attracted to or I don't know, maybe it's, like, the whole thing, like, you accept, like, you think you deserve that kind of love, so, like, that's the best you're gonna get. But then I think there's a whole other set of issues that come with that mindset that, like, don't have to do with, like, then I think, like, there's a whole other thing, like, going on behind the scenes. But I think we're getting to, like, a generation of women that are like, fuck that shit, like, we're equally as powerful, equally as independent, and, like, let's do this. Like, I'm so, like, if anyone treats me bad or, like, says, like, something to me that I don't like, I'm not confrontational, but I'll be like, yo, what the fuck, like, that's not cool. Like, or the second someone treated me bad, I'd be like, see ya, like, you're out.
So even if he comes back or she comes back begging for forgiveness, you're done.
Well, I think there's, like, a line, like, it depends what the threshold is.
Because a lot of them do that, you know, they'll beat a woman or treat a woman bad and then say, oh, I'm sorry, that wasn't me, or, you know, give me
Yeah,
another
so,
chance.
like, for me, there's, like, a threshold of, like, what you can forgive. Like, legitimately, like, if, God forbid, someone ever laid their hand on me, like, that's it. Like, there's no... I mean, obviously, I say this knowing how hard it is to leave an abusive... I've never been in one, but, like, for all the women or men that have, it's not an easy thing to leave an abuser. And so I'm not trying to diminish or minimize that in any way, shape, or form. But like I said, there's certain, like, thresholds of, like, what I can forgive and what I can't. Like, let's say we've gotten a heated fight, like, about something totally normal, and, like, I was like, that's it, get out. And they came back and, like, we talked it out. Like, obviously, like, I'm not, like, that closed-minded, but there's certain things that people do that are, like, such a red flag that are, like, no fucking way. Like, but like I said, it's also not easy to leave these people because they're such manipulators, like, and they, like, literally make you think, like, you deserve this kind of love when no one deserves it. So it's not even, like, it's an easy feat to just, like, get up and leave someone, especially if you think, like, if that's all you have in life and that's the only person who you feel like has ever treated you right. It's not easy to leave them, especially if they come back. Like, people by nature, most people are hopeful and optimistic. You want to believe that people can change, but, like, you can't change who you are at your core, and that's what I believe.
No, I'm sure there's a lot of guys that have liked you, but you didn't like them, but at the same time you didn't like them romantically, but you wanted to become friends with them. How do you handle a situation like that?
I literally just say, like, I don't want anything romantically, and, like, if you do anything romantically, then, like, we can't be friends. I, like, lay it out on the table, but that's about it. That's, like, always pretty easy to avoid, especially because I feel like if someone really wants to be your friend, like, they're not gonna, like, jeopardize that or, like, do anything to make you uncomfortable. Especially if I'm like, hey, that made me really uncomfortable, and they don't understand, then they weren't your friend.
But can you still, like, send frequent messages on Instagram to people that you don't really want to be romantically interested in, but they're...
I mean, isn't that just, like, what a friendship is? Like, I send my friends messages all the time. Like, that's what I think sucks about men is, like, if I text someone, it doesn't mean, like, I want to fuck you. Like, it literally just means, like, hey, like, here's a funny tweet, here's a funny message, like, you want to get coffee? Like, I don't understand why people have to, like, think everything is so much deeper than it is. Like, the idea of a friendship is that you have contact with someone. Like, if people thought that, like, texting them was romantic, then, like, all my friends would have thought I would, like, wanted to, like, marry them by now. Like, I think, like, it's such a stupid thing when guys are like, because he texts me, like, he likes me. I'm like, no, it's, like, basic friendship. Like, what do you do with your guy friends? Like, where's the energy when it comes to your guy friends as it does to your girlfriends? Like, where's that same energy?
Now we are at 19 minutes now. How much more time do you want to do on this?
However much you need, we're fine.
Okay. Now, did you want to plug any of your social media at all?
I hate social media. I like never use it, so no.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
like not really a social media presence.
I've already asked you this, right? Where were you coming from before you came here?
Where was I coming from?
Where did you come from before you came here?
I was coming from, I just went to like St. Mark's in Soho, just like look around and like shop, just kind of just like a day to just like do nothing. Because it's like literally, it's like 55 degrees today. I just wanted to walk, but I came from St. Mark's before I came here.
Where are you going once you leave here?
I'm going back, I live in that building right there, so
You're going home?
Yeah, we're going home, and then...
Wow, that must be a nice view.
Yeah, it's the arch. So we're going home, and we're gonna make margaritas.
Burritos?
Margaritas.
Oh, margaritas. Okay, all right. So the night does not end there.
No.
No.
I mean, it's hard because we're being really careful with COVID. Like, even though the outdoor dining, like, I'm kind of, like, nervous without the ventilation and stuff. Like, I'm not trying to, like, kill anyone. Like, I'm very conscientious that we're in a pandemic, so I'm trying to be as littly selfish as possible.
Yeah, but at the same time, you don't want to starve yourself of that enjoyment.
Yeah, but I also, like, feel like I've, like, gotten to a point where, like, I've enjoyed myself so much up to now that, like, I can... Like, I don't give it, and I'm so introverted that it's honestly, the pandemic has been so great for me because it's an excuse to not be social and go out and, like, no one can say anything. And I'm like, I've had 21 years of going out and having fun. Like, I can rest for a year and, like, my world isn't gonna end. I'm not gonna die.
You got it out of your system.
Yeah.
Now, you are a senior right now.
Yeah, one semester
What
left.
advice do you have for the freshmen coming in?
Honestly, like, if you, like, my honest advice is, like, quality over quantity. Like, don't get hung up on, especially like we go to a school with like big Greek life, don't get hung up on any of that shit. Like, I'm in a sorority, not important. Like, you'll meet your friends and they'll be your friends, but like you can do so, like, you can be different than the people you hang out with and you're equally as valid. Like, I notice I'm very insecure in a lot of my relationships because I'm like, oh my god, we're so different, but like if, like, it doesn't matter. Like, honestly, my biggest piece of advice is like, it's not like be yourself. I don't want to be like, be yourself, but like, do whatever the fuck you want. Like, this is the time, like, college is the time where you don't face many real world consequences. Like, you can shave your head, get a tattoo, or like, well, maybe not a tattoo, but like, you can do things, and like, there's less consequences than, say, for us when we graduate and we have to get a job in a corporate 9 to 5. We have to like think about real world things. Like, enjoy your youth and like have fun, but also be fucking smart, because I made such stupid mistakes because I was like, I'm invincible, I'm awesome, and then I'm like, dear god, what the hell happened? So be smart, have fun, and just do whatever the fuck you want. Like, life is too short. I'm the biggest hypocrite, but there you go.
Now, you are in a sorority.
Yeah.
That's always been something that's been a bit mysterious to people who are not in sorority.
It sucks.
It sucks?
Yeah.
So, anything else you want to enlighten people about? Why does it suck, first of all? Do they try to control like who you can be friends with?
No,
who you cannot be
not
friends
even
with?
close, but my sorority was the only one that like I rushed, and it was the only one I got, and it was really damaging to me because everyone in my sorority is like stick thin, blonde hair, blue eyes, and I am literally the second biggest girl in my sorority, and I constantly think like I will never be as good as these girls because they're 10 times as pretty as me and like whatever. And it's so fake because I was like, everyone's like, you meet a sorority, you're gonna meet your best friends. My friends are the same friends I had before my sorority who aren't in sororities, who are in different sororities. Like, it should not dictate your entire life. And it just sucks because it's like, everyone wants you to be like a carbon copy of each other. Just especially in the sorority I'm in, there's literally no diversity, like body type, skin color, like nothing. And I'm
so
like,
they just want to be around people like themselves.
yeah, and I'm like, where, like, I want to feel accepted, and I don't, but I want to feel comfortable in my skin in my sorority, and I walk into a room, and I leave within 10 minutes because I have a panic attack. Because I'm like, I'm not like, these girls don't like me, they don't know me, we're not like each other. It's so superficial, and it's so hard, and it's like, it's worth it if you think that's the life you want, but for me, I just was like, this isn't who I see myself with.
Now let's talk about peer pressure. You've already touched on it a little bit. How has that affected you in life?
It's not that it was peer pressure. It was just like all my friends were doing stuff, and I was like, they didn't pressure me to do it, but I have the mindset that I'm like, if everyone's doing something, I want to do it too. Like, I've never really met anyone that's like, if you don't do this, like, we're never gonna be your friend. But like, I also just I don't really know how to say no to people, and that led me into some really shitty situations that like are like legitimately dangerous. That like, I'm like, what were you thinking? Like, you were 18 years old. Like, that was so stupid. But I just like, I have the FOMO thing. Like, as stupid as it sounds, I think every teenager does. Like, you're just nervous of like, what if my friends have the best time doing this and I'm left out, and they talk about it for the rest of their lives, and they're like, well, whatever.
So you didn't want to feel left out.
Yeah.
Now, any game changers in your life? Anything that happened to you that made you want to change the way you lived your life?
I don't know if like there was specific like trigger incidents, but I've had a really hard time mentally, and I think I've gotten to a point where I'm like, I kind of like hold this whole identity crisis where I'm like, oh shit, like I'm gonna be 22 now, and like I kind of like hate being morbid, or I'm like,
Major turning point in your life.
yeah, and it's like when I like think back when I was 16, like this is very morbid. You do not have to put this in, but I was like, I didn't plan this far ahead. Like I just kind of thought that like, you know, like
go do what you want as you go.
So then no, not even that. Like I just like didn't think I was even gonna go to college. Like I thought I was literally gonna be dead by now. Like I had that bad of a time mentally that I was just like.
You're the second person to say that.
But I'm gonna be honest. Like when I was 16, I was like, I'm not gonna go to college. Like I want to be dead. I don't want to be alive. And I got to the age of 22, and I'm like, what? Where do I go from here? I set no goals for myself as a teenager because I literally thought that like something I did once was gonna work, and like. Somehow it didn't, and like I'm happy that I've survived multiple things, but I'm like, where the fuck do I go from here when I have no clue who I am, no clue what I want to do, because I didn't picture myself being alive past the age of 18, past the age of 17.
Was college worth it, by the way?
Honestly, yeah. I think I found such a good group of friends my freshman year who are a lot different than people I knew, and I think it's awesome. I think it was a good place for me. Especially because I just found a really good group of people, and I never really had that. I never really had people that I felt connected with, and I feel really connected with
Which is really
people.
important if you're hundreds of miles away from home.
Yeah, and I feel really connected with the people I met, so.
Yeah, I think that's one thing. I don't know if you agree, but I think people are a lot more open freshman year because they're
100%.
They're new and they want to meet new people. But once that passes, they establish their little cliques, and that's it.
I mean, yeah, but I would say, like, most of my friends that I met, like, my junior year, and, like, I
Really?
talked to them more than, because I joined a bunch of on-campus organizations and a bunch of different clubs and social things, like, anything you can imagine, I joined it, and then I was like, whoa, there's a whole group of people that go to my school that I'd never known about until I was a junior, and now I can't imagine my life without them. Like, I think people are closed-minded, but, like, if you join the right groups and the right things and you find what you enjoy, people are always going to be open to you.
That's very good advice. Now, you come to this park often?
Yeah, I mean, my building's, like, literally right there, so...
Alright, let me ask you this. What is the strangest thing anyone's ever said or done to you here in this park? 'Cause there's a lot of questions.
Honestly, I have yet to have, like, an unsavory experience.
Really?
Yeah, like, honestly.
Nobody's, like, run up to you asking you for money or anything?
Yeah, but...
In aggressive ways?
Not, like, aggressively. Like, usually they'll come up and ask for money, and if I have change or spare dollars, like, it's really bad. I try to give as much as I can, but I never carry cash and stuff with me. I guess, like, the strangest thing, which isn't strange, is just, like, people being like, weed. But that's, like, the most normal thing for New York City. But no, I've not bought it because I feel like that's just how you're gonna die, but...
Trying to stay healthy. Now, do you speak any foreign languages?
I'm pretty proficient in Spanish. Like, I can hold a really good conversation, but, I'm not fluent, but, like, if I talk to someone who's fluent in Spanish, I can hold my own very well.
Did you want to say anything in Spanish right now?
No, not really.
Where have you been? Any states, countries, anything like that?
So I studied abroad in Spain. That's where I got really good at Spanish. I have had a really great luxury of being able to travel throughout my life. So I've got to go to Europe. I've got to go to Japan. And when I was a teenager, I did this thing called like a teen tour where we took a bus across the United States with my friends from camp. So we literally went to like all these random states, like like places I would have never gone, but I like did it with my friends from camp. So yeah, I've been very lucky enough that I got to travel and stuff like that, honestly.
That is so cool. It must have been such a wonderful bonding experience.
It was nice.
Oh, it's almost like being in a reality show. Isn't it?
Maybe. Not as much. Because we were like 15, so like we still had like counselors and stuff. Like you can't do much. So like none of us had fake IDs or anything. So like we were still like youthful and naive.
Now, what is the nicest thing anyone's ever done for you?
Done for me?
Yeah.
I was having a really hard time at a point in my life, and someone wrote me a letter, and it was one of the nicest things that's ever happened to me because it was like, I was like, holy shit, like this person literally went out of their way to write me a letter, I'm like getting emotional, and it was like one of the few times that I'm like, I feel loved. I feel fully, completely loved.
That's amazing. I like that answer. Now you seem like a very smart person because a lot of people they have to think when I ask them these questions, but you don't. So, would you consider yourself to be a good student?
Yeah, I mean, okay, I'm in the School of Communications, and like everyone's like, haha, like all the grades are valid, but like you put in what you get out. So I have done very, very, very well in school, but it's also because if you work hard and you study in like the School of Comm, like you're gonna do great. Like my roommate's a nursing major, and if I took one of her classes, I literally would fail. Like I have no mind for science and math. So like I said, like it's like as long as you like do what you like you're gonna be good at it. Like as long as you have a passion, like yeah. But I do have a good academic brain.
You're very lucky to
I'm
have
really
found
good
something that you're good at.
Yeah, the one weird thing is I'm really good at memorization, so I was always really good at history because I could just like memorize an entire textbook and then just like write it out. So yeah.
That'll come in handy.
Yeah.
Now, can you do any impersonations?
I can do a really bad Kermit the Frog.
Oh,
Like,
you're the second person.
Oh my
Let's hear
God.
it.
Oh no.
You can skip that if you want to.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like pretty bad at impressions. Like I did one Kermit the Frog once. I was like, really good? Okay, yeah, no, I can't do it. I can't.
Can you do, how about a New York accent?
Like the standard New York accent. I mean,
The
this is more like
standard
Staten
New York.
Island, like coffee, like Staten, Long Island. I feel like
Yeah.
New York City. I mean, you got like Brooklyn, like all that stuff, but that's like stereotypical. Like you know
Yeah,
what I'm
that's
talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay, now, what are some good places to film here in New York? These kinds of videos.
Yeah, I would say any major park, Washington Square Park, Tompkins Square Park, Union Square. I think St. Mark's you'd have a good time because everyone there is so freaking cool and like they're willing to talk to people, and it's just like one of the most eclectic places in the city, and like it just was like so nostalgic for me. Yeah, anywhere where there's like skaters, bicyclers, like people that are just like enjoying their lives, I think is a good place. Like I don't think you would really get like the same results maybe on like the Upper East Side. Like I know I'm stereotyping, but like where it's more of like an older like stuck-up crowd, because like they're not gonna like give you the time of day. They don't even give me the time of day, and I look like this. Like they're very like appearance based.
Yeah, I've noticed that, especially like families and stuff.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think I've had any families on my
No.
show. Do you have any special talents?
No, I don't think I have any special talents. I guess I have talents, but nothing like crazy special. Actually, I can stick my tongue to my nose. Like I can touch my tongue with my nose. That's not really that special of a talent.
It's kind of a talent. It could become a TikTok video.
Oh my God, yeah. People would be like, what the hell?
You never know. It might actually go viral.
Yeah, I know.
It's like a lot of the other videos that I see on online. I'm just like, how did this even
I got
become
one viral TikTok.
Did you?
Yeah.
Could you tell us about that?
I hate Donald Trump. I hate him, and so I made like a very anti-Donald Trump thing about the debates, and I just like went crazy, and everyone's like, yeah, we love this energy, fuck Donald Trump. So it was like a really cool, it was pretty viral. I got like about 20,000 likes from it.
Yeah. What kind of positive responses have you gotten? Have you gotten direct messages?
Okay, so I'm very aggressive when it comes to political standpoints. I'm like very pro-choice, like staunchly anti-Trump, all that stuff. And so people try to argue with me, and it's not that I don't want to shut them down, but I just have the mindset that's like, I'm so firm in my beliefs that like no one is going to change my mind. I'm not going to expect to change their mind. But most people have like positive responses. The people that are negative, I'm like, I posted a video the other day and I was wearing a mask with my best friend and we were walking, and all these anti-maskers like commented on it, and I was like, we're not hurting anyone. Like we're walking in a public space. Like whatever.
Isn't Florida like very against
Oh my God.
the lockdown?
I like literally can't even talk about how fucking Ron DeSantis, I hate you, Ron DeSantis. He is like, he calls it the Kung Flu, the scamdemic, the Chinese virus. So when we were at school, our curfew was 4 a.m. So what kind of curfew is that? Indoor dining's open, nothing's closed. And then the 24-hour clubs are open until 8 a.m. And I think kids our age are dumb as fuck. Miami is dumb as fuck, and Florida sucks. Like they have not gotten the memo about the pandemic. Like thank you.
Yeah, I remember that. So many people were going to Miami and partying like all through the pandemic.
Yeah, no, everyone from my high school, from my hometown, went to Miami for New Year's Eve. I'm like, have fun killing your grandparents and getting COVID. Like I hope you enjoy those like 3 days of whatever. I get very angry. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Like I don't understand why people are so selfish.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do. I mean, get really angry about this stuff. Now, where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Honestly, I hope to be like engaged and just like whatever, and I hope to be like content with my life. That's it. I don't like I hope I have a job, and I just hope I'm happy. That's it. So I see
Now
myself.
I see the two of you came here together. How did y'all become roommates? How did you meet her?
I met her the second day of school at Miami. Like legitimately the second day of school, and we just hit it off.
Was it like orientation or anything like that?
It was a pool party because we go to Miami. Of course we have pool parties.
Right.
It was a pool party, and I remember I saw her taking like a shot luge, and I was like, damn. I was like, what's up? And she's like, I'm Michaela, and I was like, I'm Avery, and we've been roommates for 3 years.
Wow.
And we're really good friends, and she is the most non-judgmental, most caring person I've ever met, and everyone needs someone like her in their life.
You're very lucky to find someone like
legitimately,
that. Because some people,
I'm blessed.
they become roommates freshman year, and then they become enemies for the next 3 years.
So we weren't roommates freshman year, but I'm still best friends with my freshman. I've never had a bad roommate. Like, even when I went abroad, I'm best friends with everyone I've lived with.
Yeah. Now, were you in school during the lockdown?
Yeah.
How was that like?
Well, like I said, there's no such thing as a lockdown in Florida.
Oh, right.
And so originally...
So you were still going to classrooms?
Oh, or 70% of the classes are only in person. Like, there's no option for only remote.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, like one of my really good friends, he's international, and he has to come to America, or else he won't...
Loses a visa, right?
Yeah, on a student visa. I don't know much about that, but like Miami is like all in person.
Oh, wow. So there hasn't been a huge like change?
There's no change. Nothing. I mean, bars, everything is open. You name it, they have it.
Wow. That must be like really nervous. I mean, it would make me nervous.
I just literally stay inside. I like have gotten to the point where I don't want to meet anyone but my friends. I love my friends. I just stay inside, drink margaritas, and watch The Simpsons with my friends, and that's it.
What motivates you in life?
Happiness, like finding my happiness, because I have yet to find it, and I'm not trying to be like morbid or sad, but I want to find true happiness, and I want to look in the mirror one day and say like I'm content and I'm in a good place in my life.
So you've gotten over the morbidity?
I'm not really over it. I'm just noticed I'm a cynical, pessimistic person, and that's just the way I am. I'm a glass half empty person, and that's it. Like that's just who I am. That's it.
What are some advice you have for other people who are cynical? How should they combat that or?
I just think you need to accept it if you like keep telling and like not do it around other people. Like do it around like the comfort of yourself, but like be hopeful for other people. You can be cynical for yourself like me, but I'm hopeful for other people.
Don't bring other people down.
Yeah, no.
No. Is Facebook still relevant?
I love Facebook. I'm in like all these whack-ass Facebook groups, like really wacky Facebook groups. Like
I think you're the first person to...
Okay, no, I'm like psychotic. Facebook is like one of my favorite. I'm like Italian American. I joined an Italian American Facebook group.
Really?
I'm in a Simpsons Facebook group. Like I love Facebook.
Oh, wow.
I'm the only person who likes Facebook. I know. I'm outdated.
So you found your calling.
Not even my calling. I just think it's like such a wacky thing to just like be able to like find like-minded people and like not give a shit about it. But I don't share anything on Facebook like old people. Like I'm private in groups, but like I don't share things. Except for the election. I was like, please don't vote for Donald Trump. Please don't take away my rights as a woman.
Now tell me something. What apps do you use?
Honestly, I use Spotify 99% of the time. I literally just use Spotify and Instagram.
You a music woman?
Yeah, I listen to like literally I walk around campus and my one friend was like, you know, I've gone to school with you for 4 years and I've never once seen you without your headphones on.
Alright. What kind of questions do you think you would ask people if you were the one doing interviews?
I guess maybe like who's the best person that you've ever met in your life? And like how did they influence you into the person you've become today? That would be it.
Who do you follow?
Like celebrity-wise, or just like
anybody, like yeah, celebrities or influencers, anything like that?
I'm not into like that many influencers. I guess I like follow my standard celebrities like Phoebe Bridgers, Lana Del Rey, Mitski, all that stuff. But I'm trying to think of like content creators I follow. I really can't think of anything. I like really weird meme accounts. Like really like niche like me like the
That explains why you're on Facebook too.
Yeah, exactly. Like really like niche meme groups I follow that have like 10,000 followers. My friends are like, what the fuck is this? But yeah, I don't really have a. There's not like I'm like literally my friends will send me videos like, did you hear what blah 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 did? And I'm like, no, I don't follow them. I never have. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's just not for my like interests.
Do you have any tattoos?
No, I don't.
What is your biggest accomplishment in life?
Being alive, like literally, like making it to the age of 22. That is my biggest accomplishment.
No, did you want to give a shout out to anyone?
Yeah, my roommate Michaela, right over there. She's fucking awesome, and she's the best person I've ever met.
Great. Now, would you mind if I upload this to the internet?
No, not at all.